We were expecting our first child, of course, overwhelmed with joy and excitement, bewilderment. I read all the books. I had a plan of how we were going to raise our first daughter, Amy. It was going to be perfect. By 4 weeks sleeping through the night, by 6 months speaking in complete sentences, by 6 years curing cancer. You have a map for how your child rearing will be until you have a child. And then nothing goes according to plan, right? She wouldn't sleep. She wouldn't sleep for the first 6 months. She wouldn't sleep for the first year. And then all your friends come, and you're like bleary-eyed, your brain's not working, you can barely think straight. Like, oh, our children, like they slept through the night, but they won. They're just perfect angels. And you really contemplate murder, right? When you're not sleeping through the night, you can't think straight, you're not healthy, you're frustrated, you're resentful, and it'd be times where it's like 2 times, 3 times, 4 times a night, like, oh my God, you try to reason with a 3-month-old child, why don't you sleep? Why don't you want to sleep? Dear God, don't you know we're suffering? You are literally killing me right now. And then finally, 3 years, it took 3 years, and finally she slept through the night. And it was amazing. I woke up refreshed. I woke up so strong and so healthy, and for a week of just perfection, and then after that week, you know what happened? We had another child. And you forgot in that week how bad it was to not sleep. And so I felt one night, I felt maybe a year into our first daughter, I felt like there was this presence upon me. The Spirit of God was upon me. It's like I can't be resentful of a little child who can't help this, right? We're doing everything, we try every method, it just doesn't work, it's not their fault. And so instead of trying to change a situation that I could not change, I had this revelation that I had to change my heart, right? I had to change what I did have power over was myself. And instead of being angry or resentful, that I'd use that time, I thought, I'll use this as a time of prayer. I'll use this as a time to speak with God. Here we are, Lord. And slowly, right? Just begin by saying, thank you, God. Right? Thank you for whatever I can. Thank you for whatever experience I can give you thanks for. I can give you thanks right now for this moment. I can give you thanks for this life that you've entrusted to me. I can give you thanks for her health. I can give you thanks for being awake at 3 a.m., for the darkness when others are asleep. To give thanks to God. And slowly, that time transformed, right? It transformed from me, instead of a time of anger and bitterness, into a holy time, where I really began not to look forward to, but to appreciate and value that more. I felt like this is holy ground. This is prayerful ground. This is a space where God is, where I can wake up in the middle of the night 2 or 3 times and say, thank you, God, and to experience God, to step into the very presence of God. This is a practice of gratitude. And I don't like these things that are almost Christian, but mostly self-help, right? I don't like these things like practicing gratitude, because while self-help is intended to help thyself, I suppose, I don't like these things because it's like almost Christian, where it's like keep a gratitude journal, practice gratitude. And we do see that practicing gratitude has these really important psychological health benefits that improves your quality of life, it can improve your health, it can improve your perspective. There's this whole positive psychology dedicated to the practice of gratitude and how it can make you internally, externally a better person. It can make your life actively better. And yet, there is something about practicing gratitude that is inherently faithful. And yet there is something in practicing gratitude when everything else falls away and you have nothing to be grateful for, to practice that can draw us into the very heart of God. The story today in the Gospels of the 10 lepers. And to have leprosy alone is to be ostracized, right? That you're not allowed to live with your families, you're not allowed to live with your friends, you're not allowed to live inside the city. You have to go to a designated place, you have to go to the garbage dump, far outside of town. And if you should need anything, you have to even proclaim your presence so that people can avoid you. You have to cover your face, cover your body, that you are unworthy of human relationship with this skin disease. So to have leprosy alone is ostracizing, is becoming someone different, someone other. And then to be a Samaritan is like a double wound. To be a Samaritan, I think of Samaria, to understand Samaria in Jerusalem is like the day after the Civil War ended, right? And before Reconstruction. The Civil War has ended. And yesterday you were fighting, the Confederate soldiers and the Northern soldiers were fighting, and today they're not. But we don't know how to live with each other. It's the day after the Civil War when these people meet again and they put down their arms, but they don't trust each other and they don't like each other. And as far as we're concerned, we're still mortal enemies. And so here's 10 men that Jesus sees. And it's Jesus' prerogative to do. This is what Jesus does. Jesus comes and he heals folks. He heals folks regardless of who you are, where you are, your life, your station, your status. Jesus heals the Pharisees. He heals the centurions. He heals the Jews and the Gentiles and the women and the slave and the free. And he comes and he sees these men who've been ostracized and he heals them because that's what God does. He pours himself out to all people. He heals these 10 men. And he says, now go to the priest. So if you have leprosy, you just come and see me. He says, go straight to the priest, right? And show that you're clean. You're ritually clean. So that you can go back and be part of society. And these people do what Jesus commands. There's no fault in following his instruction. They go. And yet one is so overwhelmed by this gratitude. And he comes and he falls at the feet of Jesus. And Jesus makes a point to say, and this man was a Samaritan. Right? This man who you should reject viscerally. This man who has nothing good from him. Yet this man, even this man comes and expresses gratitude to Jesus. The overwhelmingness of being healed, of being restored to community, but in this way also being restored to God. Being restored back to God's own self. We talk about Jesus coming as a sacrifice, right? Jesus was sacrificed for our sins. Jesus was the sacrifice of God. And yet we say we also have a sacrifice on Sunday mornings. I've been to a church in Tanzania where on Sunday mornings during the offering they brought forward live goats. They brought forward grains and things they'd grown in their garden, and they actually offered it to God. We know that during the time of Jesus, a sacrifice would have been a sheep or a goat, something that would have been maybe ritually sacrificed. We come with a sacrifice to worship on Sunday mornings. And what is that? What is our sacrifice? We say it every week. This is a quiz. We say it every week. Every Sunday, we say, we come with an offering and sacrifice of our thanksgiving and praise. We come offering something to God, and that's our gratitude. Just in this way, this leper comes and falls on his knees and gives thanks to God. So that's our approach to God. As a matter of fact, we can't enter into the sanctuary without thanksgiving. Jesus tells us in the Gospel of Matthew, if you're angry at your brother, if you're in a lawsuit with your neighbor, if you are disrupted in any way, if you're angry in any way, then you can't go into the presence of God. The way we experience God is through our thanksgiving, is through our gratitude. We come in like a leper and fall on knees saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. As a matter of fact, that's the truest experience of God, coming in with thanksgiving and praise. Yesterday, I had a celebration, a service at Grace Episcopal Church in Woodlawn. I've talked about this before. It's the largest Peruvian religious festival of the year. They celebrate once a year in Woodlawn, and I come down because most of the Peruvians are Catholic, and so I kind of look like a Roman Catholic priest, and I'm the only Episcopal priest who can do it and preach in Spanish. I told my daughter, I was trying to explain to my daughter that I was going to be preaching in Spanish, and she said, that's okay, I'm sure you'll still be boring. And so I went to celebrate, and the church is filled, right? The church is filled with everybody who's ever come from Peru. And after the service, everyone in town, I mean, there's people lining the walls. It's like kind of the Easter celebration. It's the biggest celebration of the year. And afterwards, we go outside, and they set these pails of hot coals where they put sweet wood on for incense. And just, clouds of smoke. And they have a flotilla with an icon on it. There's 12 men wearing purple robes who get up under the flotilla and carry it on their shoulders. Music, Peruvian music blasting. I can't imagine what the people driving down Woodlawn are imagining when they see all of us walking in a religious procession down the street in Wuhan at like 8 o'clock at night. And then they have a celebration that goes until dawn. They have music, they have food, they have a festival, and they stay and they celebrate and celebrate and celebrate. And it's kind of a strange celebration. It's called the Feast of Our Lord of the Miracles. I'd be shocked if you've heard of it. It's kind of an obscure and strange thing if you're not, I guess, from Peru. But the story is, in Lima in the 1600s, there was an African slave who had no formal training. He came and he painted this wall of a church. And he painted, Renaissance level. This is Raphael, Donatello, Leonardo, all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles who painted great works in Italy. This is that level of wonderment, right? He paints this painting that itself is a miracle. And then there's an earthquake, and everything in Lima is destroyed. Even the walls of this church are destroyed, except for the wall holding this painting. Wow. They said, God is here, God is present. And then they wanted to move it, and several men came and they tried, and they couldn't cut it down emotionally. They climbed ladders and climbed it. God is here, I can't touch this painting. And then, years later, decades later, there was another terrible earthquake. And it rocked Lima. Everything is destroyed again except for this wall. So that's it. We're having a religious festival till the end of time. But it's more than that, right? And here I am last night with these folks celebrating. Folks who immigrated from Peru to Birmingham, who are not the power players of our city, right? These are the folks working in the most humble positions. These are the folks who are cleaning our homes, cleaning our offices. These are the folks who are working for the very least. Maybe perhaps the least of us living in our city. And they've come to wear their very finest clothes with their children and their grandchildren to celebrate God, to give gratefulness and thanksgiving to God. Because I think the story of our Lord of the Miracles is this story of how we experience God. That there is these times and moments in our life when everything is destroyed. There are these moments when our life lays in ruins. These moments when our health fails us. These moments when our daughters wake up at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning. These times when we lose our jobs. These times when we lose our parents. These times when it feels like our life has been shattered like the city of Lima after an earthquake. Where everything seems in ruins. And yet God is still there. And yet God can still preserve a painting. And maybe if God can preserve a painting, then God can preserve me. And so even in the midst of all the trials, even in the midst of all the hardship, that I can come and celebrate the goodness of God and give thanks to God. Knowing that this is the God who never leaves me. This is the God who never abandons me. This is the God that I can always turn towards in hope. And for that, we celebrate. For that, last night we celebrate until the wee hours of the morning. And we celebrate year after year, and we teach our children and our great-grandchildren that we celebrate a God who loves us so much that He would sacrifice His own Son for us. A God who loves us so much that He would come back from the dead for us. And all He asks in return is our gratitude. And when we give God our gratitude, we can actually transform the ground we stand on. We can actually transform our very lives to step into His presence. So how do you pray? How do we pray? How do we teach our children to pray? Just start to say thank you. Say thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And start to say thank you again and again and again until you find yourself there in the very presence of God. How do we worship? We say thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you. And so I'm converted. I believe in gratitude. I believe maybe we should keep gratitude journals. We should practice gratitude. We should read the self-help books and follow the psychologists and use gratitude, not just to transform our lives, but to transform our spirits. I think we are the leper who has the opportunity to fall down on our knees in the very presence of God. Same thing. Amen. Let us stand and affirm our faith. The words of thanks and praise.